Welcome back, everyone. Time for some more Hogwarts Legacy. Last time we watched a Murder by Dragon, went on a portkey adventure, and we came to Hogwarts, finally. We learnt Accio in Charms class, and then Levioso in Defense Against the Dark Arts class. So far, my favorite thing about the game is the puzzles and exploration. I've had fun just running around and seeing what I can do, and there will be more to come, believe me. Now, let's continue. I decided to take some advice from people I've seen play the game and turned off the show HUD tracking and minimap settings for extra immersion. I can always just press up on the D-pad to track what I got targeted after all. Still exploring, trying to do what I can on the map, I run into Cressida Bloom, who accidentally charmed her books to take flight and then go missing. Her biggest problem is someone called Amit will tell her parents if found out. Amit was actually mentioned by Lenora as someone who enjoyed puzzles, but tries explaining them too much if I remember correctly.
I'm going to have to use Accio to get to those books.
I go collect her books from the library and end up reading her diary. It seems her day was ruined, either today or a different day, by someone named Gareth, nephew of Professor Weasley. She's also having trouble with food, having to eat something called a broth smokies. I find another empty frame. Following the image it shows from Lumos's effect, I guide the butterfly back to the frame and collect the field guide page. A quick look around with Revelio shows me that another field guide page for someone called the Old Librarian. He was one of the first librarians at Hogwarts, having no tolerance for noisy students and would use silencing charms at someone for just sneezing. I can see a chest behind a fireplace, but I don't know what to do to access it yet. I head back to Cressida, who is very thankful. I get the option to be a dick, saying that I want a reward for what's in her diary so I don't spread it. But I decided to be nice for now as she doesn't need her day worsened. Entering the greenhouses, I gain a Celtic cape, so I decided to change my outfit a slight bit, then go back to exploring. Another field guide page. Dirigible plums are an orange radish-like fruit that floats upside down while growing. It's believed to help one accept the extraordinary. On my way through the castle, I hear, and slightly see, a humming suit of armor. That made me chuckle, I'm not gonna lie. Another field guide page. Wooden cat statue that bears the likeness to Pangur Don, who was a fearless feline mouse hunter and devoted study companion. I got a new scarf to match my Celtic cape and find yet another field guide page. A goblin artifact. This horn, used in 1612 during the Goblin Rebellion to rally troops and to annoy witches and wizards. This one specifically was discovered behind the Hogshead Inn with a wedge of Gorgonzola stuffed inside, presumably to mute it. I end up, after climbing a flight of stairs, come to what I assume is the choir practice classroom due to the music and the frogs which I remember being used in the choir of Hogwarts. You know, like in the Prisoner of Azkaban movie, for example. I love that scene. There's another field guide page, Frog Choice. These slimy and symphonic frogs are magical amphibians that sing in 6-part harmony and hold a pitch no human can. The bell tower has a lot to offer, with what seems like a puzzle involving the bells and 2 having fell off. Once reaching the top of the tower, I get what I think is a great item, with its yellow icon, and because of how big the chest is, and the fact that I had an animation of opening said chest. They're called the Black Rivet Gloves, and they look fancy as hell. I explore the top of the tower more, opening a chest, and then to my surprise I get eaten by a bloody frog statue. I guess if it wasn't the dragon who was going to eat me, then it was bound to be something, right? I get something in the new area I arrive in, since the frog statue seemed to teleport me, called a basket weave. It's carved from cool black marble, and the collection menu says it's a wand handle I can customize later. Fancy. I attempt the bell puzzle, But the bells are so noisy I had to turn my sound down. After a bit of experimenting, I think I might learn Wingardium Leviosa later, since I believe the difference between the spell and Levioso is that Levioso just levitates an item or person, whereas Wingardium Leviosa lets you move it, and I need to be able to move these bells manually to put them back in their place. Leaving the bell tower, I'm gonna miss that area, honestly. The music was playing through the PlayStation 5 controller. It was beautiful. I literally AFK'd for like 20 minutes to do some stuff and just turned my TV sound so I could just hear the sound from the controller. It wasn't the best audio, but it was something. It was new and it was awesome. I love it when games do, like Horizon Zero Dawn, for example, how the focus, every time you use it, the sound will come out of the controller. Anyway, back to the game. I decide I've explored too much for now and begin heading to Professor Weasley in her Transfiguration classroom. Professor Weasley was discussing about some room, perhaps the Room of Requirement, to a house elf called Deke. Deke leaves, and Professor Weasley tries getting some more information out from us because of the ruins we mentioned prior. It doesn't work. We're told Professor Ronen will meet us momentarily to assign our first assignment, and that the school will cover the supplies we lost. This also includes a proper new wand from Ollivander. I get a choice of who to go to Hogsmeade with, so I choose Sebastian. I want to learn about the spells not taught here after all, he mentioned them. The game then explains assignments are quests which reward new spells. However, when you look at the quest in your quest menu, and this happens later on as well, it just straight up tells you what the spell's called. I don't like this. Maybe, like, we all know what the spell Reparo is. It's used in the movies. If you haven't seen the movies, it's mentioned obviously in the books and the games. It is a popular spell. But even when it comes to spells that I've never heard about, I can sort of guess what they do based on the name. And thus, I'm not going to get into it. Once again, I mentioned this in the last video. I like surprises. It doesn't matter. Let's move on. Professor Ronen is playing with paper birds magically given flight. They then disappear once I interact with them. I get to work on the tasks given to me, which is as simple as collecting flying pages in 2 different areas. And with only a minute of work necessary, I'm back to Ronen, ready to learn the spell. With the spell Reparo, now at my wand's tip, I mend that broken statue earlier. I guess it did turn out to be a bit relevant, since one of the pages I needed was floating around it, and Ronen directly calls out the fact that I could repair it with Reparo, but it wasn't that important in the end. On my way to Sebastian, I see one suit of armor punch another one! And I pick up yet another field guide page. Flattened armor that belongs to Sir Scargalathorpe, I don't know how to pronounce that, the Headless. He had unwisely challenged a mountain troll to a game of musical chairs. Yeah, I bet that didn't go well. Sebastian is happy to guide us, and so we leave Hogwarts and set foot into its great outdoors. Sebastian is a troublemaker, it would seem, always on the bad side of the librarian. He mentions how he gets into the restricted section a lot, and I assume that means he'll teach me Alohomora, since it seems to be a lock that's stopping me from getting in there. On our run into Hogsmeade, Sebastian shows me lacewing flies and where to find them. So I pick up as much as I can. Now, for anyone that didn't get the deluxe edition items, the reason lacewing flies are interesting to me is because one of the items that the bonus items give you is Felix Felicis. And in this game, supposedly it reveals items around you permanently for a whole day. And you need 1 lacewing flies for it. So yeah, that's why I'm going to be stockpiling on them, hopefully. I'll just need to find a way to farm them, like if they respawn or not. Heading further down the path, a couple of hippogriffs fly from the Forbidden Forest, and Sebastian mentions how the teachers say it's too dangerous to go in there. Sebastian, however, thinks the teachers need more trust in their defensive capabilities. Little does he know that the Forbidden Forest is extremely dangerous for a reason. Sebastian mentions he can also see Thestrals. Doesn't really go into it though. And I find another cat to pet. Yay! A man we come across called Mr. Moon is in shock, saying he saw something called a demiguise and is going to Hogwarts where it'll be safe. Sebastian says Mr. Moon must have put stuff in his own juice. He clearly doesn't believe the man.
My sister Anne thinks he's lovely, but I'd say he could improve a bit as a caretaker.
Oh, is your sister in Slytherin too?
She is, or rather, she was. She's not well at the moment, but she'll be better soon and back at Hogwarts.
I find another field guide page too. Hogsmeade. It's the only all-wizarding village in Britain, and has been a favourite haunt for 3rd years and up for centuries. Entering Hogsmeade, Sebastian goes to find something for his sister. And so we get to our things. Although, I'd rather explore first. I first get the field guide page for an abandoned shop. The proprietor supposedly has a shrinking charm to aid in storing inventory. However, it was miscalculated, and everything that was supposedly shrunk actually disappeared. Whoops. Inside, there is a picture frame. The area is just outside, and so that's an easy field guide page. Next, I head to the Magic Neep, which supplies fresh produce and fertilizer. Also, just a note, I've decided I'll stop reading every field note. It's going to get bothersome for us all in the end, when it's just lore. At the Magic Neep, a man named Timothy Teasdale greets us. He mentions his specialty is potion ingredients, and lets us access his shop. I buy the Dittany seeds, and head off. Entering J. Pippin's Potions, I steal some solar protection goggles from right in front of Parry Pippin himself. Why was this here? Parry Pippin sells recipes, ingredients, and potions. We get what we need and leave. The Hogshead Bar is small, not much to do here at the moment besides steal a drink that seems to refill itself, although I didn't see its animation. In Tomes and Scrolls, moving a specific book causes a staircase to magically expand out. That's actually pretty cool, but all I get for it is a bit of money. There's nothing cool at the top, but it's nice. Without being noticed, and I'm being really honest here, he totally didn't see me, I sneak into Thomas Brown's personal chambers, steal a scarf, and then leave and begin talking to him. I take the spellcrafts I need and begin heading out, making sure to wear the scarf I just took to make sure Thomas knows what I did. Continuing to explore, I find a hairdresser who can redo your hair, obviously, and watch as a student is disgraced in front of his own father for being trolled by a teleporting bird.
I told you not to go down that path.
Miss Peck from Brood and Peck said a customer lost a diricle round here. I know we're not supposed to go down there. I just thought...
You could have got us in a lot of trouble.
I'm very sorry, Father. Only she said I might earn a reward. Instead, I just wasted our time. There you are! Ha! Finally! I'll have enough for that wind wisp. Ah, well, not meant to be. Also, I may have knocked over a dustbin back there.
Never mind, I'll fix it, as always.
I meet a ghost, and I decide to explore the 3 broomsticks, but am blocked by a locked door. Outside, I find another empty frame. It takes me a bit, but I find the location and bring the butterfly home for another page. I realize I missed a shop. Also, I'm purposely leaving Ollivanders for last. It's called Dogweed and Deathcap.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Whew. Sorry I'm in a bit of a tizzy. I was just scolding some of the plants for spitting sweating and nipping. I suppose it's my own fault for putting more than 4 to a tray. By the way, Beatrice Green is the name, but you may address me as Madam Green. Welcome to Dogweed and Deathcap. Oh, mind you don't knock the mandrakes. Oh, if there wasn't the constant demand for antidotes, I wouldn't need to stock so many of the little dears. Except, of course, for curses. And, well, if you've been petrified, then obviously you've come to the right place. Mind you don't knock the mandrakes. Oh, if there's an uprooting, you'll be the next one to drop dead, and I'm in no mood for a clear-up.
Someone died here.
Aye. Fortunate, really, that it was just the one. Now then, how may I help you today?
I think I'll just have a look around for now.
The owner is a tiny bit crazy. I attempt the frame puzzle inside, climbing up to a chimney outside where the butterfly's resting. I accio a field page and return the butterfly to its home for a second field page. Now for Ollivanders. On the way there, it seems this bridge has nothing stopping me from just walking on the sides, because I end up taking a dunk in the water. In Ollivanders, it seems he was expecting me.
I'll be right with... Ah, it's you. Just a moment, please.
Hello, sir. I'm looking for...
For a new wand, yes. It's about time.
Yes, about time.
Well, you're our new fifth-year student, are you not? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you are. Gerbold Ollivander's the name. But of course, you'll have heard of the Ollivanders, I'm sure. Finest wand makers in the world. It's a pleasure to meet you, truly. Now, come with me. Let's find you the perfect wand, shall we? No, not you. Yes. Powerful core. 10.5 inches. You might do. Here, give this one a try. Well, go ahead, swish. How odd. Once more, come on, really swish it. Oh dear. Well, this isn't a good match at all, is it? We'll find you something, not to worry. No, not you. Perhaps. Yes. A rare wood, 13 3/4 inches, dragon heartstring. Let's give this one a try. Oh, goodness. Looks like it's back to the shelf for you. This is proving to be trickier than I had anticipated. How perplexing. Where are you? Perhaps you? There you are. Yes, I think you might be the one. Here, take it.
In the end, we're able to customize our own wand. Among choosing the look, length, and type of wood, we can also choose the core. One produces powerful magic, one produces consistent magic, and another produces a great range of magic. I assume this can change your progression, maybe. I'm gonna go for the Phoenix one because I like the idea of a great range of magic. With a wand now in hand, I leave Ollivanders and go to find Sebastian. Upon meeting up, however, we're ransacked and attacked by a big troll in red glowing armor, similar to the guard banker in the dragon. Another smashes its way through a house and we're sent into a fight. I decided to test how dying in battle works, and it seems you can get hit to the point your health bar's empty, but any hit beyond that will kill you. During the battle, we unlock the ability to throw items at the ogre with magic. Unsure if it's a spell that we learned since we don't say anything, and I know it's possible to say, do spells without saying anything, but we're not that advanced yet, or if it's just using Accio in a different way, I'm not really sure. Once the ogre is defeated, however, we unlock an ancient magic that obliterates the ogre completely. Amazing. I'm guessing it's just like instinct, maybe. Like, we don't seem to question it or anything, we just know it. We agree to fix some broken structures and objects, repairing houses perfectly as well as some boxes and stands. A shopkeeper called Augustus Hill seems to be praising me, according to Sebastian when we meet back up. So I go to chat. He wishes to give me a set of robes as a thank you for helping defeat the troll and protecting Hogsmeade. While I'm in his inventory, I realize my gear slots are full. Hopefully I can expand this, honestly. So for now, I sell a few I'm not going to use. I was really hoping to I was hoping this game would allow me to collect every single type of gear, but it seems that there's a limited amount, and honestly, that's pretty sad, but I'll have to accept it. Sebastian and I then decide to head into the Three Broomsticks for a butterbeer or two, but on the way there we encounter a man named Rookwood meeting with none other than Ranrock himself. It seems that Ranrock had a deal with Rookwood. He'd give a distraction, the trolls, and Rookwood would try grabbing us, but he didn't get the chance since we took down Ranrock's distraction. It's feared Ranrock noticed us, so we leave and hide in the Three Broomsticks. The bartender is a great friend, because when Rookwood tries to come in and get us, they and the other customers help defend us, which ends up forcing Rookwood to leave. After some time, Sebastian and I decide to head back to the castle, and so we fast travel to our common room. We got an owl post, it seems, from Professor Fig. He's discovered something in the locket we found at Gringotts and wishes to see us. Upon entering his classroom, I find a letter addressed from Professor Black to Professor Fig about us and our arrival, and how Professor Fig was tasked to help us. Having a look around Professor Fig's classroom, he has lots of cool and interesting artifacts and objects sitting around. Half of them I don't even know how to explain, so I'm just showing them in the video. I also got a new wand handle. This was also when I realized I'd unlocked wand handles because I got my own wand now. It's called Arrow Pink Swirl. I really like it. However, the Avian Grey wand is what I want, so I'll go with it. I steal from a chest to Professor Fig's office and decide to wait for him, but what was that? It looked like we sat down to wait, then he's at his desk and we just stand up, but he hasn't interacted with us at all. Now, as someone who has played a bit more than this already, I've noticed that some quests require you to talk to people, and if they're not around, there will be a wait function. I, at this time, assumed that waiting was part of the quest objective, and thus I found it weird that the person we're waiting for didn't interact with us. But now I'm realizing that waiting is just a form of letting time pass so the person you need to talk to comes. So it's not as big of a thing as I thought it was, but it's still funny. We catch Professor Fig up on the details that happen in Hogsmeade, which sadly only makes the poor man worry a bit more. We ask whether the goblins at Gringotts might be following Ranrock, but Professor Fig says it's improbable since the goblin banker was killed and they'd probably be against him for it. I think we forgot about that one guard that had the same dark glow as the troll and dragon though. It would appear that Professor Fig had found and read an inscription on the locket that made a map appear on his table. We're able to see ancient magic on the map, pointing to the restricted section of the library in Hogwarts, and so we decide to head there, but not before Professor Fig recommends we do an assignment with my favorite professor so far. Professor Hackett would like to teach us Incendio. However, it would appear the requirements for this quest involve me doing a side quest I forgot I had. Crossed Wands, the Dueling Club side quests. It seems that Professor Hackett and the others do know of the Dueling Club, but she doesn't directly say it in her cutscene, it's sort of just inferred afterwards, because she says that I might be surprised. And then after the cutscene ends, it's like, oh, these are the quest objectives, go do Crossed Wands, and your character when leaving the little room basically just says,
Seems Crossed Wands isn't as secret as it's believed to be.
but it would have been cool if she straight up said it herself, like, you thought I didn't know about this, huh? But she doesn't, it's fine. So I gotta go win 2 rounds. And on the way to see Lucan Brattleby, which is the person I have to see for the dueling club, I decide to go exploring. I come across a beautiful view while entering a new area of Hogwarts, and then discover another frame puzzle. The butterfly was just up the stairs, so that's an easy field page. Another door math puzzle, and it's swiftly solved, which rewards me with a pair of gold-rimmed circular spectacles, which I can't wear until I level up once more, and a wide mirror for the room of requirement. I come to the Ravenclaw Tower, and the statue of the Floo-Flames teleport here talks to me, which I didn't expect. It caught me really off guard.
What are you up to now?
Another Leviosa's puzzle statue rewards me with another field page, and I find myself in an expansively sized tower with a growing staircase. This whole place is beautiful. I think this might be the moving staircase from the movies, and it just looks different because it probably changes later on in Harry Potter's era. I don't know. It looks very similar, just without the moving staircase. I actually think this is better than the moving staircase. Another puzzle door is solved, rewarding me with brown leather fingerless gloves and a telescope. Another empty frame puzzle leads me into the main hall. I didn't realize there was a room between the main hall and the entrance. Was that always a thing? The butterfly is brought back, and I'm now level 10, allowing me to wear those new glasses. While exploring outside temporarily, however, the ground seems to give up on existing, and I fall to my death. I don't really know what to say here, so moving on. Exploring a cool new area of Hogwarts, I head back into the main hall. Then once obtaining a field guide page about the bewitched roof of the main hall that mimics the sky, which is an amazing detail I've always loved, I find another math puzzle. It rewards me with circular paintings and some red plaid garb, which I actually like. I do some dress up that are as high level as I can, and while I look a bit goofy, I quite like it. I go down a long flight of stairs and find myself in what I believe is Moaning Myrtle's bathroom. I might be wrong though. It does say on the sink that there's like a Slytherin-shaped snake thing, or a Slytherin-shaped snake, what? Snake-shaped thing on it that no one knows about, and that's pretty much the sign that this is the Chamber of Secrets entrance. So yeah, I think it's Moaning Myrtle's bathroom. Another frame puzzle, and I didn't even realize the butterfly is easily found with Revelio. Walking around outside a bit, I find my way back to the main hall accidentally, and it's already packed with students. We were literally out all night. It would seem a student, looks a bit like Sebastian, but no idea, got a howler from their parent.
You scoundrel! I do not pay for all your school things to be rewarded with a house full of hexes! Your father's in St. Mungo's to get his horns removed, and it's taken the house elf a week to unstick that screaming portrait! A week! You will behave, or so help me Merlin, I will bring you straight back home!
Poor guy. He takes his anger out by running into a door and then leaves. Another puzzle frame, an easy find, and another easy field page. I find a travel point to somewhere called the Underground Harbor, so I decide to check it out. A field guide page, and I will read this one, says this area is where first years come after their boat trip across the Black Lake. Interesting. I make a quick trip to Hogsmeade to sell some gear as I'm full, and then I fast travel to the Slytherin common room, as I'd gone completely the opposite way to the dueling club, and I try getting back on check. There's just so much to see in this game. Another math door gets my attention. It rewards me with house wall banners displaying colours and insignias of the 4 Hogwarts houses, as well as Celtic brushstroke scarf, which I choose to put on. I get a new fancy hat, pet a cat, and hear Peeves talking through the walls of the bathroom.
Here I've come from the toilet bowl where she said I could swim, did you praxia mole? As long as 'twere only one time per week, I can plunge the boy's lavatory, not for the meek. He tried to stop me, did rancorous carp, sought to trap me, confine me inside of a jar.
Beautification
But he failed, as did his containment charms, so I took my revenge to wreak havoc and harm. It was granted my privileges be handsome indeed, or I'd fire up the cannon, and so she agreed. To draw up a contract with her, not with him, that if I behaved, I'd have one...
Revelio.
Whee! Whee!
It seems he has a favorite pranking spot in the bathroom next to this one, and it's locked. For now. Another beautiful view on a bridge, and another puzzle frame. It takes me a bit to find the butterfly, but I get it done. Yet another beautiful view, showing the Quidditch arena this time. And we run into Sebastian, who tells us Lucan is waiting. Before that, however, I get eaten by a frog and taken into a dark room. It seems we're in a room where the door is high above the outside flooring. This detour does give me a new wand handle though. I meet with Lucan Brattleby, who coordinates the duels in the dueling club. We brag about beating Sebastian, and we're told the winners of the dueling club get a prize. Join me up. We're sent into the ring for our first fight. Here it is.
We'll make you regret signing up.
Come on.
There goes my way.
Glad I didn't bet on that round.
The goal at the start was so snarky. I didn't expect it, honestly. On the other hand, the fights are interesting, and not as boring as I thought they might be. I had plenty of fun, and feel there's a lot to learn. Time for another round. My partner is Nardside this time.
Ready to get thrashed? Apologies in advance.
I sadly got overwhelmed with the new mechanic of using Accio on blue shields. Also, for reference, you have to use Levioso on the yellow ones. And I end up losing. Twice. But trying again, I managed to get a bit better.
Pity more people can't watch the duels.
I also learnt there is a perfect parry moment. The difference is when parrying normally against spells, you'll deflect the spell randomly, usually in like not directly back at the person ever. But if you perfectly parry your attack, it will directly deflect back at the target and break their shield without you having to use Leviosa or Accio on them. It's actually really cool. Last thing with Lucan, I test some combinations on a training dummy. Going back to Professor Hackett, she teaches us Incendio. I replace Reparo with Incendio because I can only have 4 spells at the same time. And I head back to Professor Fig. We plan to head out to the restricted section, but Professor Black comes in and calls for Professor Fig, which ruins everything. We're told to wait, but we have different plans. Sebastian mentioned sneaking into the restricted section, so we decide to seek him out. Sebastian wants to know what happened at the 3 broomsticks. We mention having never met Rookwood before, and being unsure, and Sebastian decides to take us at face value. We bring up wanting to get into the restricted section, and we're told to meet him in the library at night. We're also warned to avoid Peeves the poltergeist, as he loves telling on students, and we're also told the librarian Scribner is someone we should avoid. With that, we learn Disillusionment, a way to be invisible as long as we're not too close to someone. I think this might be how we get into those chests with an eyeball too. We make it into the library with little problem, but librarian Scribner is still here. We're told to steal a key from her drawer while Sebastian distracts her. His distraction involves causing an explosion.
Is someone there? Is that you, Peeves?
But it lets us get the key and open the lock without a problem, thankfully. We walk down and have to use casts to distract ghosts so we can walk past them. Once in the clear, I use my disillusionment spell to trick a chest, and finally manage to open one of these bastards. And it rewards me with 500 coins, holy shit. Sadly, we get spot by Peeves. It's in a cutscene though, and I didn't have my disillusionment up, so maybe it would have been different if I did, but I doubt it. And I really wish there had been a way to avoid him. But otherwise, Peeves leaves, and Sebastian goes trying to chase him and hopefully have a good excuse for his behavior. We repair a suit of armor that's blocking our way and go on alone. Just like in the start of the game, we find an ancient rune and interact with it to bring a gate of magic into existence. In this new area, we find another big chest with yet another orange icon piece of gear. Having a proper look, they're titled as legendary. This one is the ornate two-tone glove, and at just my level. We head into a door called the Athenaeum. Inside, I try using some spells on the device I clearly need to interact with, but in the end, all it required was a basic cast. Some enemies wake to my presence, but using my new chaotic abilities, I make quick work of them. I take down 2 more enemies, almost fall off the path below me, and my next fight is a wave of statues, followed by another wave, and then another wave. I try testing out Incendio, but end up getting destroyed, as I wasn't focusing on when statues would crash down on me. The next time we face them, I turn them into rubble, and move on to find another pensieve with a book floating above it. The book drops some memories into the pensieve, and we dunk our head in to watch.
You wanted to see me? Headmistress Fitzgerald, Professor Rackham.
Miss Isadora Morganach, welcome.
Professor Rookwood, Professor Bakar.
We understand that you are adjusting well to life at Hogwarts.
I am.
I am glad. Especially in light of your unusual situation, starting as a 5th year.
As it happens, I was also admitted to Hogwarts as a 5th year. I've never heard of another like us.
Miss Morganach, when we spoke yesterday after class, you asked about the beautiful swirls you saw years ago when we visited your hamlet.
I recognized you all immediately. I cannot thank you enough for what you did.
We were glad to help.
And yes, I did see swirls of magic everywhere that day. My father insists it was my imagination running wild, but it was certainly real to me.
It was not your imagination.
Percival, Professor Rackham can see them too, but we have never known of another who could.
I don't understand. What are they?
The whispers or traces that appear when a particular form of ancient magic is wielded.
Ancient magic?
Few are capable of wielding it. Hogwarts itself is a stronghold of ancient magic.
So if I can see traces of ancient magic, does that mean I can wield it too?
With the proper training.
But let us not get ahead of ourselves, Miss Morganach.
Before I can train you to wield such magic, you must first master all that Hogwarts has to offer.
A magic this powerful can do great harm in the wrong hands. It must be wielded by a select few. As such, we ask that you not speak to anyone about what we have discussed here today.
As we come out of the memory and exit the restricted section, Sebastian's being interrogated by Scribner about who he came with, because Peeves told her. But he denies being with anyone. Scribner then leaves, inferring she'll tell Sebastian's uncle. A quick teleport to Professor Fig's classroom to speak with him, we hear him talking to Professor Sharp, who has been told about the goblins working with Ranrock. He says that it's inconceivable, but decides to leave and check things out upon seeing us. Upon showing Professor Fig the book, it seems a few pages are ripped out. We then explained the memories we saw, at which Professor Fig says Miriam was right. I guess she had a hunch that Percival, or ancient magic at least, had a hand in bringing life back to this land. When talking about the second memory we saw, Professor Fig wonders why we're being shown these memories specifically. Professor Fig mentions he needs to head out and explain George Osric's death to the Ministry. He's unsure how he's going to do it, honestly. We're then told that we got Herbology and Potions class, as spells aren't everything, and to not neglect our studies and our friends. We then get a couple outposts, one from Nardsai mentioning Rookwood and Harlow, and to meet her in Lower Hogsfield. Odd. Professor Hackett then explains Professor Weasley asked her to teach us a new spell. For now though, that's going to be all for this video. I'm working on these faster than expected just because I've been enjoying it so much. It's only been basically less than 24 hours since I finished editing the first video. And I'll probably have this one finished soon too. I hope you all who are watching this have enjoyed, and take care.